Welcome, everybody, to the Bonus Bone Podcast. Chasta, Lamont, Tonelli, Baby Huey.
What's happening?
And I'm sharing a mic with our boy, Smelly's in the house.
Smelly, what's up, man?
Smelly. I'm clapping for myself.
Yeah.
Bravo, bravo.
Well, you're now a superstar because of the Love Sludge stunt.
Yeah, sadly.
Yeah.
Got to be famous for something.
But the jet ski is well within the reach.
It is.
So it was worth it. Would you say it was worth it?
Oh, 100%.
Oh, okay.
100%.
All right.
Like I was telling Mari, I said I had this dream when I was younger.
Yeah.
When I was driving down the road, I saw a guy with a Jeep with no doors on it, no roof.
The old Jeep Willie kind of a thing.
And he had his foot up, kind of hanging out, but he just looked really cool. He's wearing flip-flops and then had a jet ski. And I was like, I saw that and I said, I want that. That just looks incredible. Like his whole demeanor. Like I wanted to.
You wanted to be in that picture.
I wanted that guy, and it took forever to finally get my Jeep. I know that you love Jeeps
I love
too.
Jeeps. Yeah, that's my dream
It took to when I was like 41 until I finally got the Jeep because my kids were old enough to where like you get rid of the minivan style type third row seating, and I just could never pull the jet ski together. It just something every time I got close, something would happen.
Yes.
And unfortunately, being married with all these kids and all these bills. The debt to credit income ratio always was janky. So it's like me going in to get a jet ski, if you borrow $15,000, you're paying them $46,000, and I wouldn't do that. You know?
Right,
like,
right.
So it wasn't like braces and things like that where it's like you have to do it. This is something that just kept getting pushed and pushed. So it was worth it. It was not worth it that night. That night was brutal. I'm not gonna lie. My stomach was not doing well. Things just was not doing well. But in hindsight, it's great. Yeah. I'm very excited.
Did you take the antibiotics?
Yeah, just as a precaution.
Okay.
I kind of like
because everybody was worried about like getting an STD from drinking that stuff.
I just went into the mode of the emergency, that vitamin C thing, that antibiotics, just kind of overdid. Drank a lot of water, like I was.
Let me ask you something because the sludge that you drank, there were a few things floating around. When you were later on that day, did you have like an extra something to chew on during the day while you're sitting with the
disgusting
toothpick?
As it was,
Kind of like sifting between your teeth.
Like, when you have a sinus drip and you feel like something going down your throat, even though you're not really doing anything.
Right.
I had that like the whole day.
There are a few chunks.
I just always felt something slimy working itself up and down like a loogie,
That might have been your imagination too.
I'm
I'm
100%
sure that
sure it was probably my imagination playing with me, but that's what it felt like the whole day.
It's kind of that cream stuff on top, I think, is what that was.
The bubbles.
Psychosomatic.
I don't know if you guys remember.
Reminds you of cottage cheese.
It created like this bubble foam.
Yes.
Which you can't really drink the foam. It has to like work itself down, so you're getting like liquid, then like air pockets of farty air, So
we will be doing Love Sludge again, testing underwear. If you want me to make one payment,
we'll see how this develops because the financing thing is an issue. So.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
So it may come back around.
Yeah.
So okay. So let's just go back a little bit. Let's unpack Smelly, which is a scary, scary, scary thought.
Okay.
Because everybody may not know, how did you meet the boys? How did you become the producer, part of their show and all that? Like, let's start from there and work our way back.
Because you're the guy behind the scenes. A lot of people don't realize.
Yeah.
They're going, hey, who's Smelly? But you've been with us how many years now?
I don't know, 20?
Yeah, I think something like that.
But it's like, I've always purposely been behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Because, as you know, in radio, there's always so much turnover and stuff like that. And I didn't want to be somebody who became like well-known in one area. And if that show blows up, you have to move to another city.
Right.
I always wanted to stay behind the scenes. And so I worked in radio since the late 90s. And then we were at this radio convention.
Yes, we were.
And
And by the way, I talked to everyone, so does Smelly.
Was this boot camp?
It was a boot camp.
It was a boot camp.
But it was a dinner party afterwards.
Yeah.
It was like one of the free parties that they have where everyone just goes to nosh on free booze
when it's
and food.
free, I'm there.
When it's free, and I'm there too.
Huey's there.
Yes, exactly.
Solely everybody. Everyone's there getting free stuff. And Lamont was just talking about some of the things he was fan of, like audio type stuff. And someone told him, like, oh, that's the guy who's doing these things.
Yeah.
And so he came up to me.
Yeah.
And said, I'm a fan of what you do. And I was like, whoa, that's cool. Because I was a fan of you guys, you know? Yeah. And then what happened after that is we decided to have some dinner together. And
Yeah.
then what really sealed the deal, which got the relationship going.
Which, by the way, you're at this dinner party. It's late at night.
Yeah.
Okay. And then after we have drinks, and then we all go for something to eat afterwards. So now we're probably talking 10:30 at night.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you can go on.
And then he just said, do you have any kids and stuff? I go, oh, my wife is pregnant with our first child. It's so amazing. And he goes, really? How far along was she? And I said, 9 months. Oh my God. And I think we're like 3,000 miles away.
Yes.
And he was like, holy shit.
I go, hold it. Your wife is pregnant 9 months, and you said she could have the baby at any moment.
Yeah, but she said, I feel like, and this wasn't my idea. It was a combination. She goes, I feel like you need to be there. Like,
See?
She was always
Women's intuition.
Yeah, she goes,
Right.
you need to
There
be
you
there.
go.
It's important for your career. And so, but he was just amazed that I was like,
I said,
okay.
holy
Because
fuck.
it's almost like that's a trap where the wife or the girlfriend sets you up like,
I would have murdered Jay over
Oh,
that.
exactly. And I said, if my wife, she got mad when I was going golfing 2 months before. I said, if any moment now she could have a baby and I'm there having dinner with a bunch of knuckleheads, she would have cut my balls off.
not only like having
Right.
dinner, but getting drunk.
Right,
and all.
exactly.
No, networking.
Right.
Yeah.
So networking, and so that just really got it going. And then like the town we were in, my sister was visiting. We were visiting the town that my sister lives in, and I asked everyone's help to see if she was gay. I couldn't figure it out.
Yes.
And so they all met her, and I don't know if you remember this, but it's like they met her and they're like, yeah, she's definitely gay.
Yeah.
And then she ended up coming out like 2 years later. I was like,
Wow.
oh, that's
You
another.
See, and by the
another
way,
big
you were
one.
asking
Incredible.
the wrong person because I have
No gaydar
I have no
whatsoever.
gaydar whatsoever.
No.
I didn't know
Zero.
Elton John and Freddie Mercury were gay. I thought, well, they're very flamboyant, but they're very good artists.
Yeah.
It didn't matter to me.
Of course, it doesn't matter to any
Right.
of us, but how do you not know that?
I had no idea.
And so we just kind of hit it off and then started doing some work together. And then it
Yeah.
was like every time, radio was a little different then, so there was always a lot of trips. And he's like, hey, come with us and you can share a room with Sully.
Yeah.
And that became a thing on its own, is like sharing a room and a shower. Well, not shower at the same time, but sharing a bathroom with Sully.
Yeah.
But it just kind of it kept growing and growing, and
Yeah.
then it just eventually became a full-time thing. But I've always
Yeah.
just been behind the scenes,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, not anymore.
yeah.
Not after drinking the sludge, my friend. Not
Do you feel
after
like
drinking
the
the sludge.
sludge is the craziest thing because you've done some wild stuff, especially on the Do Not Drink and Drive show.
Yeah. It's just weird because I was thinking this, and then we talked about this off the air when I was doing the sludge. I was like, I don't know what happened to my life because I got my degree in economics.
Right.
I was studying to work in finance,
Uh-huh.
and now I'm drinking a sludge for a jet ski.
Because he's short of money.
Like, that
Mr.
just, like,
Mr.
is still
Economics
part
over
of it.
here.
my life is so upside down. It makes no sense. And I'm trying to give my kids who are going to college advice,
Yeah.
because there's like, it's weird. I don't know what to pick for my major because you're doing nothing you went to school for. I was like, yeah. And that makes it even harder because now school is, $300,000 in some
Right.
cases,
Yeah.
especially, if you want to go to a private school. And they're concerned that they're going to end up like me where they don't even use that education.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That just, it was a long way to say is like, I was just like, what has happened to my life? It's so upside down.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but okay, when you were going to college, there should have been some indications you would end up doing something like this in your life. Like, for instance, you were a pool boy.
I was a cabana boy, and I was very good at it. I was
All
a
right.
DJ. I was DJ Honky Nuts, and I used to throw these parties. And that's when I realized
Yeah.
that I loved entertainment.
Yeah.
I'd meet people down at the pool, and when I was a cabana boy, invite them to my parties. And it was DJ Honky Nuts and my partner DJ Hunglow, and we were together. We're like a duo, and we would do these parties.
Where at?
Down in San Diego. Yeah, so
Like at a bar or something?
no, just
the
at
frat
house
house.
parties.
Oh, okay.
It started at the frat house and
Right.
then moved into house parties and things like that. And that's when I realized that I wanted to work in music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to do. And pursuing that is how I ended up in radio,
Okay.
So when you were DJ Honky Nuts with DJ Hunglo as your partner,
That's going to be a character on the show. now. It has to
what
be.
was your like go-to thing to get the crowd going?
What was really impressive with how I did things was I didn't really have the equipment to be a legit DJ. So I had 2 different systems, and I would mix them. Because, like, I didn't have any fader switches or anything like that.
Yeah.
So
You have to go from one system to the next?
I would go into one system to the next using speakers, like, to, like, transition between songs and stuff. I was very good at it, and people were like, why do you have so many speakers? They didn't know I was, like, trying to make a DJ
One
thing.
technique.
off one system onto the next system.
You're a trendsetter.
Yeah.
He is.
But, no, that was my specialty. But the thing is, I could really read the room.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you remember when the Latin explosion happened in the 90s,
Uh-huh.
but that really threw off my DJ set. And so I had to learn how to transition from, like, Dr. Dre to Mark Anthony and keep the crowd going.
Ricky Martin. Ricky Martin.
So that was a special skill that DJ Honky Nuts had.
DJ
Was knowing how
Honky Nuts.
to read the room.
I'd never heard that story before. Yeah.
I mean, no offense. I can't imagine DJ Honky Nuts as an economist. I mean, like, to be fair, I think you went the right direction.
Yeah.
Well, I had an internship. I won't say the name of the firm. And it was my senior year in school. And I showed up and I was wearing the tie and everything. And I was like, after about a week, I go, man, this really fucking sucks.
Yeah.
It's like really boring. And I go, maybe that's because my life is kind of a party time and I'm not used to it yet.
Right.
Then 2 weeks turned into 3 weeks, into about a month. And I'm like, everybody looked so miserable.
Right.
Like, everybody looked like they couldn't wait to leave. It was just everything about it. And that made me like super afraid about like how my life was going to turn out. And then one day I got really, really high and I decided I could be whatever I want. And I like being DJ Honky Nuts. I like throwing parties. And that's when I decided, like, well, let me pursue that, And so that's how I shift away from that. But I was so far along in school, that I couldn't change it,
Right.
So I just kind of had to ride it out.
So let me ask you this, because then when I met you, you were also doing something that I wouldn't mind incorporating this on the show when you were Red Carpet Eric.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
This was pre-Borat, so Borat kind of ruined my life. For a
Borat
bit.
fucked you.
I used to.
Wait a minute.
I used to go to Red Carpet. I had this character called Red Carpet Eric, and I would dress like a Mormon. You know the ones that go around knocking on the door with the ties?
Yeah.
Right.
With a special needs helmet. It's horrible. When I say it out loud, it sounds horrible.
You think? Yeah.
And I would go on the red carpet, and at the time I lived in Hollywood, so to venture around town wasn't a giant time suck.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I would do these red carpet interviews with all these major celebrities like Britney Spears, but do it in a character where I was kind of special.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And they didn't want to turn you down as a
Yeah, and it was
result.
like that was my thing, and it was all about making them feel uncomfortable. Like, is this real? They couldn't figure it out, and I never gave it away. And but once Borat came, then all of a sudden it was like
everyone was
they
trying to be a
realized there was
character on.
people out there doing this gag.
Right.
Like there was another
Yeah.
guy that I did this with. His name was Woody, and Woody pretended to be a pedophile, which is weird.
Oh.
So we would go to the red carpet at the Nickelodeon Awards of all places.
Oh
Now
my God.
after all that, and he would hand out flyers, say, Woody's Kid Club, and put like a shh, and he would interview. But it was all a gag,
Yeah.
right?
I would
Which
hope.
now sounds horrible.
Well, you would have been hanging around Dan Schneider if that's the case.
Oh my God.
I've seen the friggin' documentary.
But yeah, that documentary was eye-opening. I was like,
Yeah.
wow, and I felt like I was a part.
Yeah.
Well, no, I was not a part. What am I
Woody
saying?
was.
You need to
Yeah, right?
clarify. Yeah.
I would go to the red carpets all the time in character and do these things, and it just kind of phased out just because the character itself. Borat just really blew it up, and you couldn't do that anymore.
Right.
Too many people ask questions.
Yeah. That makes sense.
And at that point, it seemed like you were trying to copy.
Yeah.
him. That's
Even
the worst
though
part
you
is
did it
You were
first.
ahead of the
even
curve.
though you're like,
Yeah.
if people think you're not the first one, they won't let
Yeah.
go of it.
It
And
doesn't
so
matter,
it
yeah.
just was something that we put aside. And we always talked about bringing it back. And I was like, well, my life is also different now.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I'm
I
up
think
for
you
any-
do it without teeth in your mouth. I think that's what you do. Take your teeth out.
He's doing everything he can to get you to
I
take
know.
your teeth out.
No, what's funny is when we share a room all the time, me and Lamont, when we travel.
Yeah.
I take out my teeth every night, and he never bothers to look in my little tray.
I never do.
And I don't know if it's because it's bubbling because you got the
Right.
the little tablet that makes it look like Alka-Seltzer, doing its work, cleaning it. But he's never once looked at my teeth. And
No, I never have.
not?
Well, I think part of it is I probably go to bed before he does, and he's up a little later. So I'm not going to get up just to go and look at these teeth.
Would be worth it.
Yeah. And I try and get to sleep before him because he has night terrors in the other bed, and I hear "Ah!" in the middle of the night.
all the time.
Where did that start? Or when did that start?
Boy, that's a loaded question because that kind of started after.
Is that because of trauma? We don't have to go there.
Yeah.
We don't
There's trauma involved. with
Silent
that.
tears?
The silent tears trauma.
Yep, that will end that there. Yeah.
So that's where that happened. But the funny thing is like he would lay down. He lays down, takes a nap, and doesn't think he fell asleep.
Yeah.
And I'll tell him, I go, boy, you had quite the nap. You were snoring. He goes, no, I didn't.
Don't tell that to my wife because she always accuses me of snoring. I go, oh, you're making that up.
And then one time I had night terrors when he was watching a movie, and it happened during a jump scare in the movie. He thought I screamed because I was
I thought he
scared.
was watching the movie.
Right?
And he turned to me and goes, that was a scary part. I go, what are you talking about?
That's amazing. I can only imagine.
Oh, yeah, we're a team on the road, believe you
That's
me.
hilarious.
But it's like
Yeah.
you got two guys who survive on naps throughout the day.
Yeah.
and
Right,
stuff.
right.
Like,
Yeah.
someone's always taking a nap. It's so weird.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because you work at all hours of
Yeah.
the night, basically.
And that's what I think sometimes people forget is I work late at night, so that's why I wouldn't be here earlier in the morning. It's
Right.
like
Right.
everything's has to ebb and flow.
He's doing stuff for the next morning at night.
Yeah.
So, like, if somebody dies, let's say at 8 p.m.
I got a Y Chasta Y singer.
Right.
I'm doing all that.
On
like,
call.
Right,
like
exactly.
at 9 p.m.
Yeah.
Trying to. And the thing that I tell Lamont all the time, which can be totally draining, especially if we're doing a Y Chasta Y.
Yeah.
Because you even said like, wow, this is a lot of work for just a Y Chasta Y. Sometimes they come in and I have to remix them and stuff because they're off and things like that.
Yeah.
And it's never an easy process. And it's so funny that hours can go into like this 10-second clip
Yeah.
that sometimes just gets brushed over because we got too much going on. Like, oh, okay, I'm glad I stayed up all night for that.
Oh, that sucks. Oh, my God.
Or like, I'll tell him like, I was up till 4 working last. He goes, no one really cares about it.
And you couldn't give it a single F.
Right. As long as you didn't interrupt my nap.
We'll bring it up next week.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not that big of a celebrity.
We'll get it on.
Eventually. Oh, my God. All right. Well, we're up against the clock. Tonelli has a golf tournament, right?
Yep.
Or something? Yeah. So
A golfing event.
he has a golf event. So we want
You guys can
to come
continue.
back.
I'll just duck
Okay.
out.
Oh, okay.
For the Young Boys Association with Woody, as a matter of fact.
You forgot the golf part in that acronym. You got to throw golf in there and make it legit.
Yeah. So you'll
Yeah,
come
make
back.
sure
You'll
the
come
Woody
back.
part doesn't like make me look creepy.
Okay, you go.
No,
you
that
go.
wasn't you. That wasn't you, though.
I know.
I'm gonna steal Tonelli's mic.
Oh, okay.
That wasn't you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
No,
if
I
the-
know.
we can't edit it out. This is live. You didn't realize we're live right now.
Oh.
Can you
I
imagine?
watched that documentary and it really shook me.
Oh, it's friggin' horrible.
I've never seen the
And
documentary.
You've never watched it. And the thing is, I used to watch Nickelodeon all the time with all my kids. And I used to think, wow, that Amanda Bynes is so talented, but she's a little off for some reason. Now I know why she was off.
Yeah.
The way they treated her.
The documentary just came out, right? Is that the
Yeah.
one you're
It's like
referencing?
it's right now. They're working on part 5. There's
Yeah.
4 parts.
Oh, wow.
You
I'm
can
way
stream
behind.
it online. So
Yeah.
yeah, once you start, you'll be like, oh, this is interesting, and then you just kind of get into it, and then you get really sad.
Yeah.
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 You know,
I
a
would
lot
imagine.
of silent tear moments.
Apparently. I'm sorry I brought up the night terrors, by
Yeah.
the way.
Yeah.
I won't do that again.
Yeah, get to know Smelly.
Yeah.
He will be on the next Nickelodeon special.
Okay, so you have to come back and do this again with
Oh, yeah.
us, because this is a real
Well,
treat.
the next time he drinks the love sludge. I'm still proposing he does it for the next round.
Well, I think as long as you're coughing up money for
Right.
monthly payments, he might
Yeah.
just
It's
bite.
weird because when you're far enough away from the experience,
Yeah.
it actually sounds like Hey, that's easy money.
Right.
If you would have asked me like that same day.
Yeah.
When you saw
You'd
the
be like-
lumps floating in the water, the
That
little
was the most
friggin-
disturbing part. It's like, what are those?
You-
What are those?
You know what
I
those
still
are.
don't- I know what they are.
Well,
But
it could just be like clitty
like,
litter
I'd like
or
to think it was
something
like
in
how-
there.
What? It could be what?
Clitty litter.
I thought you said chlamydia.
No, it could be that too.
I would like to think that it was like calcium rocks or something. You know, something like seems gentle.
It's a kidney stone.
Oh, kidney stone. Someone passed the kidney stone. You
He
drank
just
it.
chugged a kidney stone. Oh my God. Well, I will bring up one quick point. Whenever you did the
It could have been lint from someone's balls that were in their underwear. or-
that works. The
Yeah.
butt chugging. The
Okay,
butt
get back to
chugging,
your point.
That was a biggie.
Yeah.
They do not-
that was like 4 or 5 years ago, right? The butt chugging.
yeah.
Yes.
It's so funny because
It was in this building, wasn't it?
yeah.
This is in the old office.
In the old
Oh,
office.
yeah.
it
Yeah,
was,
because everyone asked. That's not the year that the lawyers made me leave the building.
That
it
might have been the year.
been.
That might have
Oh.
been the year, the butt chug.
The funny thing is, everyone
That's
goes,
the one. No. It was the year before they made you leave the building
Yeah.
because you threw up the red shit all over the place.
Yeah, it's like
You were throwing up.
like-
You weren't throwing up from the butt chug.
no.
Okay, they ask you to leave because of the throwing up, not the butt
Yeah,
chugging.
it's like
Yeah.
here, this guy needs to get to the hospital. Get him out of the building.
Yeah, they were afraid he was
yeah.
dying.
But no, the funny because people ask me about that, and I go, I honestly don't remember.
Yeah.
because I'm so intoxicated.
yeah.
Just like this past one was the worst I ever been.
Yeah,
Like I don't remember. Like
Oh,
it's
you were
full,
hilarious.
It's full blackout,
yeah.
and the only thing I do remember is picking up the puppy from the airport.
Oh, I forgot about that.
'Cause
That was
my-
after. Yeah,
and then like because the Chinese premiere whatever was coming through, and we got locked down, and I was
Yes.
so drunk, and I'm like, what is going on?
It's stuck at the airport
Because
for
they
an
put you
hour.
in this room, like this interrogation room. I
Oh
got
my
this new
God.
puppy.
And
who's
you're
peeing
drunk.
And I'm drunk. I'm like, what?
What?
Yeah. Yeah. So
I don't know
boy,
if
that
that
was a
was-
long way to say that I don't remember the butt chugging.
You don't. Okay.
I don't. And I know there's photos.
Oh, there
that
were
I could-
photos taken.
I have
I
to
don't-
look for those.
I
I don't
don't
even know
know.
where they are.
Somebody has photos because we did like a before and after type of like, hey, look at me.
Well, there was a tarp. I remember.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a tarp
Yeah.
put out? I remember that.
By the way, we used the funnel from the butt chug this morning.
I was
Same
wondering
funnel.
if that was.
And I know we didn't clean that thing.
It had to have been clean. That's
And
the one thing I
Where
remember.
were we going to clean it? It was in the office the whole time.
Nobody cleans anything around
Yeah.
here
Father
unless it's
Time
me.
cleaned it because it's like
Father
5
Time.
years.
Right, yeah. 5
5
years
years
ago.
old.
That bacteria didn't live. It's fine. The crust has no bacteria in it. All right, well, that'll do it for now. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you.
Oh, you're welcome.
I don't appreciate all the White Chasta wives, but it makes it a little bit better that some of them keep you up all night. So
Yes.
that actually does make it a little bit
Just
easier.
know that.
Yeah.
That it does do it.
Yeah.
I'm surprised there wasn't a piece of corn in today's sludge.
Well, it wasn't poop. Although, did you check? Hey, did
On the
you check
backside?
those? Yeah, did you check the underwear for streaks?
We just threw it in the sludge. There might have been a fudge stripe in there. I
I
don't
have
know.
to believe that
Little
things
favor.
equaled out
flavor.
the other things. You know, it's like a balance of yin and yang. Like whatever, there's fudge sludge,
Oh!
and there's like kidney stone. It kind of like the bacteria just zeroes out.
It probably does.
That's all. That's what I have
yeah.
to
You're
tell myself.
hoping.
Yeah, no kidding. Those boxers, though, were dark colored, so we'll never know. Anywho, on that note, thank you guys so much for being here. Leave your questions. You know what? We'll have Smelly back on. So if you have questions for Smelly specifically about, the love sludge, but anything else, you can leave them down in the comments. And we'll talk to you next week. All right. Take care, guys. Bye.
Woot woot.